gives me a great idea. And when two of my viewers have the same idea, I think, I need to make this come to fruition. Because you know what? I don't just have some interesting ideas. My viewers have great ideas. So let's take a look at what my viewers have asked, or at least thought that my theme would be for this fall. I mean, obviously both of these viewers know me very, very well. They know I'm very girly, and they know that I really like feminine things, and they thought my fall theme would have something to do with a pumpkin carriage and a Cinderella theme. So I thought I can do something with that. And when I talked to Harold, he said, oh yeah, he could help me with that. And so together we created what I hope all of you will enjoy. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to insert some footage of how we began preparing for this pumpkin carriage.
When I decided that I would create some kind of a princess carriage with a pumpkin, I started with this plum pumpkin because I just thought it was so, shiny and bright. And then I also went out and purchased these little pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. I didn't actually use these specific ones. I ultimately needed something a little smaller that I'll show you later. But I knew that I wanted to do, pumpkins for wheels as well. And you know me, I can repurpose just about anything. I also decided that I would use a little frame and some little glitzy things, and you'll see what I do with those in just a couple of minutes. I went to Michael's and I found this really rustic looking crown, and you'll see what I do with that. And then, to make the wheels all work, my husband went downstairs and dug up these huge spikes. Lord knows what he did with them in the past, but he had them in his stash and he thought they would work beautifully. And guess what? He's right. So I spray painted some smaller pumpkins, and those will become the wheels. Now the styrofoam that we used obviously needed to have a little bit of work done to them. So my husband got out, our electric knife let's face it, I'm not a cook, so you may as well use the electric knife for something other than for cooking. He does use it to carve the odd turkey on occasion as well. And so he's basically cutting out the wheel wells, as he calls it, and he's putting in his spikes to see if they fit. Now, in a perfect world, I would have shown you Harold's face, but of course, he has no interest in being on camera. But I said to him, you have to do that part, because the bottom line is I'll muck it up. And this is the base.
You've seen the beginning process for this carriage, including the mess that we created on the kitchen table. So when I started all of this, I wasn't sure where it was going, so I just took some footage. So yeah, you saw a mess, but that's reality, isn't it? When you're doing crafts, especially if you're not doing them in a craft room. So the base for this pumpkin carriage, and you've already, seen what Harold did to create it, is actually 9 inches by 9 inches, and it's just a piece of styrofoam. Initially, he and I talked about using a piece of wood, and I said, you know what, I really would prefer just to use things that we already have in our home. And it's very difficult to spray paint styrofoam because it just kind of collapses. So what he did, once he had everything cut out, let me just grab this, is he actually painted the styrofoam with 3 coats of Fresh Start from Benjamin Moore, because that sealed everything nicely. It also took out, sort of the little bubbly look of the styrofoam, which is something that he didn't like. I mean, he has such great ideas, so he painted it. And then, of course, that's when I had to get involved because I wanted it to look glittery and pretty. So we decided what we would do is in the last coat of the Benjamin Moore Fresh Start, we would just add some glitter. So he painted it, and then I quickly added some gold glitter, and this is from Martha Stewart, and it's super fine glitter. I bought it at Michael's. And then I also found this really gorgeous rose glitter, and this again is from Michael's, and it has lots of, you know, texture to it, which is what I wanted. Because initially when I was going to do the pumpkin carriage, I thought I was going to actually use a pink pumpkin. And you know, it's a gorgeous pumpkin, and you're certainly going to see this very soon in another vignette. But I kept going back to this pumpkin because it has an iridescence to it and a plumminess. And there's something that I'm doing tomorrow, and I hope you come back for it, that you'll see why I thought it was so important to use this color. So this is the color of the pumpkin. That iridescent glitter works perfectly with it, and it's just uncanny how beautiful it is. And so the next thing I had to do was, remember that crown that I showed you that I bought at Michael? I just spray painted it gold because I couldn't have it look rustic, could I? Not for my sensibility and the kind of things that I would like to do. But of course, for those of you who are more farmhouse, you likely would leave it just as it was. And then, in order to make this even prettier, I added some really pretty glittery rhinestones to make it look like it's encrusted in some diamonds. And again, these, you know, I think I bought these at eFavorMart. Just glued them with the tacky glue that I buy at the dollar store here in Canada. And that works out beautifully. Everything is sticking beautifully. The next thing I did is I took that pink frame you saw in the initial video, and I spray painted that gold. I took the back of the frame off of it, and this is going to become the door for the carriage. So, you know, and I just added, so it looks like there's a curtain inside the door, because, you know, otherwise it would look a little bit odd. So I just took out a piece of this really pretty craft paper. This is something you might use, you know, if you are doing scrapbooking. It has little pink and gold designs in it. This pink in the background with those little gold bows, like so girly, so me. So I thought that would be perfect. So let's start putting this together. Now, I think I may use this tray. So let's see if it even works, because it may not. So let's just pop this on the tray. Ooh, I think that works beautifully. And then the next thing I will do is I need to make my wheels on my pumpkin wheels a little more fancy. So I'm just going to add these really pretty, they're just little jeweled brooches that I bought from Amazon. So let me take them out of the package and I'll be right back. So off camera, I put the pumpkin on top of the base that we created. And one of the things I forgot to mention is the final coat, the final thing that we did when we put all the glitter on, is we sprayed it lightly several times with this Mod Podge clear acrylic sealer, and that keeps most of the glitter on. It won't keep every last bit of it on, but it does keep most of it on, and it does a good job. So we use this a lot for stuff that, you know, I'm playing with. Now, I've added 3 of my wheels on my carriage. So let me show you what I'm going to do with these. Now, I know that a lot of people would just pull the backs right off of them and just glue them to this, but I decided I didn't want to do that, and for a couple of reasons. One, I may want to use this some other time and I may want the backs on. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to pop them in, and that way if I want to use them for an actual brooch for something else, then I could easily repurpose it. Then the next thing I'm going to do, now Harold and I had quite a debate on this. technically speaking, I know the door should go here because that's what it would look like. But I've decided I'm going to put the door here on the front of the carriage. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's not, a literal pumpkin carriage. Harold said to me, like, that's where the horses would be. They'd be getting out looking at the horse's bum. And I know that, but I still think for a table or for how I'm going to display it in a variety of places, that this is probably the best place to put it. So again, I could choose to just leave it here as is, or I could use some glue dots or some hot glue. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to place it right now. Then I'm going to take these really pretty, look at them, again from Dollar Tree. They're from the wedding section, and like they're just so pretty. They'll glam it up a little bit, yet I'll be able to pull them off if I want to use this pumpkin for something else, or maybe in the future I do want to use the pink pumpkin. I very well might, mightn't I, for a different season. I wonder where my mind is going with that. So let me just pull these out and I'll show you where I'll place them. As you can see, I just took those little, inexpensive stickers from the Dollar Tree and I actually placed them all the way around the pumpkin carriage. I just thought it looks so pretty. Why not do it that way? Now the last thing I'm going to do is, I thought, when I looked at it, I thought it has to look like there's a window coming out of the door of the carriage. So of course the princess or the queen could look outside of her carriage as she was, driving by her subjects. So I have these little round, they're about 1/2 inch mirrors that I plan on using for a different project at some point. But I just buy them again at Amazon. And I'm just going to put some glue on the back of that. Pop off the door and place it right in the center, or as close to the center as I can get it. And now it looks like there's a little window for them to peek out at their subjects. So you'll have to tell me what you think of this princess carriage. Let's put the crown on. And again, I may decide that I want this to be, more permanent. And if I do, I will use hot glue. Or I may decide to use the non-permanent glue dots to sort of make sure this stays on well. But, if it goes on a centerpiece on a table, maybe I won't have to worry about that. But with grandkids, I might. So I'm just going to sort of play it by ear and see how I make that magic happen. You're going to have to tell me what you think of this princess carriage for fall. I think the colors are perfect. I think the whimsical nature of it is perfect. Whether I style it, for tomorrow with this tray or not, I'm not sure. But I hope you do come back tomorrow and take a look at my next sneaky pop-up video, where I will be creating a really interesting vignette and joining a collaboration for fall. You're going to be a bit surprised maybe tomorrow when you see the title and you're going to say, how is that going to fit in? But I'm going to make it work because I have some interesting ideas to make it work. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up because you know that I like it. Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you if you do or if you already have. And share this video with people who love to decorate and to have beautiful homes as much as we do. Until next time, bye-bye.